Light. Light is a common word. Since it's so large in scope and has 15 definitions in the Oxford English Dictionary for the noun form alone, I'm only going to be talking about it in a fairly narrow sense. I'm assuming you're familiar with light, but in case you're not, the first definition in the OED is that natural agent or influence which, emanating from the sun, bodies intensely heated or burning, and various other sources, evokes the functional activity of the organ of sight. Yeah, so basically light is that stuff that lets you see stuff, I guess. This is the general, primary use of light, but light has a heavy metaphor component as well. Examples here are taken from the OED. You can be the light of someone's eye, to be the object of someone's joy. You can view someone or something in a good or a bad light, just as light can change the perception of something. Someone's eyes can light up, like when they feel particularly alive or happy. Likewise, that light can be extinguished if someone feels joyless. When something is revealed, it comes to light. If someone is out like a light, then they're fast asleep. And of course, there's the religious sense. The divine is a bright light, revealing things and illuminating souls. For example, the phrase engraved at the base of Zwemer Hall, Deus est lux. The word light can be traced back pretty far, which isn't surprising considering how much of the stuff is lying all over the place. The American Heritage Dictionary notes that light descends from the Proto-Indo-European root leuk. This can then be traced to the pre-Germanic leuktom, which lost the M and eventually the O as well. In the year 1000, we have our Genesis 1:3 quotation again. God quoth tha, gewortha leocht, and leocht wearth geworcht. And finally, by the 1500s, the word had developed into what it is today. Shakespeare wrote, "Light and lust are deadly enemies." But leuk didn't just give us the one word light. This root is also found in dozens of other places as well. And this root has many descendants in many languages, dozens of which have floated downstream into English or into other languages. There's our English word. There's lux, the aforementioned Latin equivalent. Lucifer, the fallen angel of light, or a type of match. The lumen, a unit of brightness. Illumination, the state of being lit up. Luster, a shine that something can have. There's illustrate, to clarify by explanation or to draw an image of, another metaphor. And there's also lucid, a state of being clear, awake, or aware. It is also the origin of the name Lu, the Celtic god of light, for which the festival of Lunissa is named. You might have noticed that a lot of these example words and phrases use light as a metaphor for something else, little phrases we don't think about, but all trace back to light. In the book, The Stuff of Thought, Steven Pinker dedicates an entire chapter to the idea of the tiny metaphors that we use every day. The ubiquity of the metaphor in everyday language, he says, is truly a surprising discovery, rich with implications. And the fact that these metaphors have become so widespread is proof that these metaphors were alive in the minds of the original coiners and early adopters. So light is a pretty powerful metaphor, considering how widespread its use is. We know that light is needed for us to see. We think of light as good. Some metaphors we might construct are, light is exposure, or knowing is seeing, based on the fact that we need light to see. But its power as a metaphor is obvious. You can equate discovery with light easily, using a mental image of revealing a ghastly horror using a candle, or something you love being a light which guides you through a dark woods. While light initially seems like a simple and straightforward word, there is a world of history and opinion packed into it. Stepping briefly into the history of this word may give us insight into how Anglophones and their ancestors may have viewed light, and what kind of charged meaning we have inherited from them. I hope my presentation has shed some light onto the rich and diverse dimensions of this word.